Hello! Happy Monday, everybody. Um, as you all know, sometimes you see Kylie first, but today you get to see me first. So, what's up with that? Just like a few things up top for us. First of all, thank you all for coming back for another episode of Everyone's Forgotten. Tonight is episode 7, which means after tonight we will have 3 more episodes and then a talkback episode, and then this story will be done. So if you have a friend that you think would enjoy this. Now keep in mind, warn them, it's a little dark sometimes. But if you have a friend that you think they would like it, feel free to show them a VOD or two and see what happens. As you all know, this game is played with Memory Lane. Memory Lane is a system that I created, which is why you've never heard of it before, but it will be published eventually. Hopefully next month is when it looks like everything's going to be ready. So that's super exciting. Um, and one little last thing before we play the trailer. At the beginning of tonight's stream, you will not see Ryan Mack. There was an emergency with some timing issues that happened, but we will be carrying on anyway. Ryan will join us when he can, if he can. And in the meantime, we're just going to adjust a little bit of story stuff to make it work in the meantime. But I really hope that you all like what you see tonight. I am super excited about it. This may be my favorite concept for an episode yet. We will see in execution how well it goes. But that's it for the moment. Happy trailer watching, I suppose. Again.
Ah,
So we will go ahead and start off tonight with a summary of what happened last week. If
Before
you've
you get into that,
yes,
don't forget we finally created a coffee.
yes, coffee.
So if you feel so inclined and would like to assist, we did already use it for something very small. It's not set up yet, but we got custom alert box icons that will pop up. I worked on them. Oh, I'm very quiet. I realized that I turned this down so that we didn't get the echo. Um, I was working on them this weekend and I tried to work on some today, but I did not get them all done. So the follower one may look really cool. Maybe. I think I got that one done. But yes, so we already busted into it. I spent all of $5.
Ooh.
Um, but yeah, like I said, everything that goes into our coffee goes straight back into the channel, whether that is getting things literally for the stream, whether it's buying games for us to play, whether it is helping people upgrade their equipment. That's basically what we are trying to do. So our link is in the bottom. You can also go to under our About section. And if you click donation, or I think it says donation, right?
I think it's tips
Or tips,
maybe.
whichever word that the banner says. If you click that, it'll take you straight to there. I think what we decided last week was for
Any donation at all gets a spark to somebody of your choosing. Um, any donation that is more than $10 gets sparks for everybody at the table. And $20 will get somebody a full memory. Somebody was given a full memory last week. They have not received it yet, but they will receive it tonight. When the players do not know who was selected for the full memory, but I do, and it will be given out tonight. In the moment that I can fit it in well. So somebody will get it. So to summarize last week, for those of you that may have not been here ever before, Memory Lane is played with 6 stats. You have Force, Finesse, Character, Learn, Logic, and Vibes. You assign a polyhedral dice to each of these stats, and that determines how good you are at things. I, as the GM, will ask people to roll for me when they want to perform an action. They roll the dice that is associated with that stat, and we see how well they do, and that's how we tell the story all together. So last week, we improv'd a lot because Ryan also had a timing emergency that time. But we did get some really cool things out of it. Quinn and Tom went to go visit Bella. Bella informed them that she did have the missing piece of the pages that Tom was able to pick up out of her office. The ones that detailed about 5 months ago when everyone disappeared, and detailed that Maya disappeared for just about 24 hours. But Maya's pin is different than everybody's, which means her mind was not wiped at that point, at least that they know about. Let's see, what else did you all do? You all got some clothes and stuff for Penelope. I'm absolutely missing things. Yes, Penelope is currently at Bella's. Bella is keeping her safe during all of the Nebby, I love you. Bella and Marion are keeping Penelope safe, while everyone else is at the rehabilitation center. While at the rehabilitation center, the goal is sort of to destroy the supply of life bite that is being kept for the mass town wiping that is supposed to happen at the church. You all were able to turn off one of the heating and cooling machines that are used to help make white bite, but found that there were 3 throughout the facility. And as you were on your way to hunt for the next one, who would round the corner but Allison Changeland, as well as Quinn's mother. And that is sort of where we left off. Is there anything that is key to last week that I am forgetting from you two?
Don't forget the bong fight.
Yes. How could we forget everything with Teddy, our main dude?
That was
our noon coffee drinker. Tom decided to confront Teddy about some things that had been going down, and Teddy revealed that he was actually in a relationship with Luna before she disappeared, that Tom's house had been bugged, and that Teddy's known a good amount of things. Maybe not everything, but a good amount of things.
And that Luna's been texting him as well.
Yes, and Luna has also been texting Teddy about what's happening, and that all of the texts that Quinn has been receiving on her burner phone are also from Luna. So all of that being said, Teddy, Tom, Quinn, Calvin, and Maya, is that your team that is currently in the rehab center?
I think so, yeah.
Okay, yep. So you 5 are currently facing down Allison Changeland and Quinn's mother. Quinn, remind me, did we come up with a name for your mom? Because I don't remember.
Mm-mm.
Okay, I didn't think so. I thought we only referred to her as your mother. Yep. But I just wanted to make sure before I gave her a name, and then you were like, I thought her name was Sarah, and I would have had to figure that out on the fly.
Nope, I only named myself and my brother.
Okay, cool. Just making sure. Well, I mean, technically, Tom didn't name his parents. I named his parents. But his parents have names. Okay, so we are currently in the Marjorie Alderman Rehabilitation Center, and you 5 are standing in a hallway facing down Allison and Quinn's mom. Quinn has a gun pointed at them. That's where we're at. So
And
we
I've got
are
a knife ready.
She just walked around the corner, right?
yes, your mother just walked around the corner, and that is where we ended things. So we will start right there, and obviously Allison will be getting in the first word of the night. Um, so she stands. She's still in her suit with her pearls. Looks very prim and proper, made up, very neutral eye makeup, black bob, cut at the sharpest of angles.
As we know, is the most evil haircut.
Yes, as we know, is the most evil haircut. Uh,
We learned that in Thirsty Sword Lesbians.
we did learn that in Thirsty Sword Lesbians. So she will look at all of you. She seems very undisturbed by the gun and says, "So, I assume you all know what you're doing here. I know what you're doing here. There a reason we're making a big fuss about it with a gun this time?"
Mom?
Your mother just sort of looks at you. She doesn't look away. But she doesn't really have an emotion on her face per se.
Mom, are you okay?
I'm fine, honey. How are you?
Where have you been?
Here, working.
Why?
Some things must be done for the greater good, Quinn. You know this.
The greater good?
Agreed.
I know. I immediately wanted to go into hot fuzz. The greater good.
I see. My brain immediately went to Frozone's wife, going, "I have the greatest good you are ever gonna get."
Where have you been? They told us you went on a research trip, which
I
I knew
did.
was a lie.
Well, lie is a big word. It was a necessary. Look, what I did was necessary for the town, for you, for your brother.
For 6 years?
I haven't been gone for that long.
You left, or you disappeared 6 years ago.
Well, yes, but I came back. You've seen me. You don't remember seeing me, but you've seen me.
You haven't tried to contact Riley or myself at all.
I've seen you and Riley.
And you wipe us afterwards?
I have to. For you all to live your lives the way that you need to. You can't know about what goes on here. I work here. So, after we would have our visits and our chats, I would do what was necessary.
So, you let me think that I was an orphan for 6 years.
Well, honey, doesn't that seem a bit traumatic?
No, it doesn't. Because Dad just needing a holiday for 13 years. That doesn't quite seem accurate either.
We both know what happened to your father.
Yeah, we do. And I thought it happened to you too, but apparently I was incorrect on that. Apparently you just continued to sell yourself out.
You will never understand. And that's okay. You're not meant to. Some of us have to put others before ourselves.
And wiping out half of a town is putting others before yourself.
Honey, wiping out a town implies death. Nobody's dying here. They're just being reset.
You're taking away everything from them.
No, they will get plenty of it back. It will be fine.
You destroyed an entire family trying to figure this out. Technically, you destroyed 2 families.
And I just peek around. Hello.
Oh, Thomas, hello. I do miss seeing you in the patient ward every day. You were always a bright spot. But alas, some things just can't be kept in captivity to see how they thrive.
Yeah, I'm definitely thriving now. Thank you.
You're welcome. I thought the drug habit was a nice touch on my part, to be fair.
Fuck you.
Fair enough.
It's not right what you're doing.
Right is dependent on who you ask.
Does Riley know what you're doing?
He knows what he needs to.
I could just FaceTime him right now. Let him know that you're here.
Perfectly fine. You can go ahead. If you think I don't have people at the police station, then you aren't the daughter I gave my smarts to.
What happened to you?
The world. You have not lived to see the things that I've seen.
No, because you took it away from me.
No, because you weren't around to see it. That's why Wi-Fi was created in the first place.
Then what happened?
Some tragedies are too big for people to comprehend.
I feel like that's a load of shit.
It may be. But you will never know. With that, Allison steps kind of in the line of sight in between you two.
I'm gonna aim it right at her face.
Feel free. You aim it right at her face. She does not seem bothered a bit. She just stands firm, her hands clasped in front of her. Quinn, I know how big a shock this must be. To be very fair,
Do you know how big of a shock this is for me?
I've watched you do this before.
Oh, so you just let it keep happening to me? For it to be an awful shock to me?
Yeah, this is number 37, 38, something like that. I mean, it doesn't always go down like this, but...
What happens if I blow your brains out then? What happens?
You can try. You've tried before. It didn't work.
You think I can't just pull the trigger right now?
No, I know you can. It happened in number 5, number 13, number 22. The thing is, it just doesn't stick.
It doesn't stick.
You're not the only one around here with undead magic, honey.
How many times have I killed you? Just out of curiosity.
0. You've attempted at least 7, probably.
But never actually...
How many for me?
Oh, you've attempted 4, but also 0 successes. Maya's even tried twice.
Let's get these numbers
Didn't
up.
stick then either.
Speaking of Maya, how did you wipe her without wiping her? Just out of curiosity.
You all notice that Maya's sort of standing a bit back from the two of you, but just has not broken eye contact with her mother. You see, darling, it's quite simple. Tom and Luna and Penelope not the only 3 to get some special drugs. All pharmaceutical, all prescribed in a way. But you see, Maya just got a little extra because she's my kid, and sometimes kids can't know what their parents do.
poisoned your own daughter?
Yeah, absolutely, if that's what it takes.
You monster.
She doesn't know what's good for her.
She's
Because you
sh-
did what. Because you did this.
she's an adult. I'm pretty sure she can decide what she thinks is good for herself.
Yeah, well, we'll see about that. I'm sure we'll just repeat the cycle all over again. Maybe when we get to 50, something fun will happen.
You've taken so much from so many people.
All in the name of
Of what?
utopia.
There's no
Really? Is
such
that what this
thing
is
as
about?
utopia.
There will be.
Have you not
This is all about
studied
control.
history? Every time someone tries to create a utopia, it never works. Ever.
Yeah, it's because they're all dumb. They didn't do it right.
And
Yeah,
you
because they had
think
autonomy.
you are?
Oh, I know I am. I'm so close. We are so close. This is a collective doing. This isn't just me. I just happened to lead because no one else wanted to.
You know, I thought I was unfortunate because I lost my parents. But knowing what I know now, knowing that my mother is just as fucked up as you are, I think it's a good thing you took her out of my life.
Well, you're so very welcome, darling. Let me know if there's anything else I can do to help.
Could you take yourself out too? That'd be great.
Aw, you wish. Now, I must apologize. Don't have all the time in the world. You all are free to move about as you wish. There are orderlies around, but they won't bother you. I've specifically told them that you all are here just on another attempt, but since they all fail anyway, who really cares? I've moved at least part of what I need to. If I can't pull off the whole church mass wiping thing, it is what it is. There are other avenues. Unfortunately, you all will not be there to see them. What a shame. You know, there were these things that Maya was obsessed with when she was younger. And they say that parents don't listen to their children, but quite frankly, I think I've done a great job this time. They were these things called escape rooms. And the funny thing is that with enough magic, anything can be an escape room. This one has a timer though, so I would hurry. And with that, Allison grabs your mother's arm, and the two of them poof out of existence.
As they poof, a knife floats right through that cloud, and you just hear Tom scream.
Fair enough. So, what we are going to do is you two would, if you two would please roll for initiative. I will roll for Teddy and Maya. You all do not have enemies at this point, but if someone should come along, I will roll for them then, and then you all can make your arguments as to if you would be ahead of them in initiative order. For those of you who may not have joined us before, this is what is called a Fates assignment. So this is not combat. There is no enemy that is immediately going to try to take them out, but it does mean that they have a certain number of rounds to reach a certain goal, which they will also be able to decide amongst themselves. Ryan will roll for his initiative when he gets here. So you all obviously know that now the object is to kind of get out of the building in an amount of rounds. But, and I will give you this sort of without you all having to roll intuition for it or anything. You would guess that whatever is going to make this escape room a thing you need to get out of quickly will probably also destroy anything that's left in this building. So you all have 15 rounds because I planned for this to go most of the night. You all have 15 rounds to get as much of this building cleared as you feel you need to. There is evidence hidden around the building of things that are happening. There are things you might need. There is Luna, you all assume somewhere, and get out by the end of that 15 rounds. So this one's for Maya. Maya got a 4. Teddy got a 5. So those are both trash, but that's where they end up. So what did you two get?
I got a 12.
We roll a flat, right?
Yeah, initiative is flat.
Yeah. I rolled a 7, but I would like to add my sneak to it.
Your what?
My sneak. So it's a +5.
You
So I
can
could kind of like.
only you can only advocate to add something to your initiative if there is an enemy for you to get ahead of. You cannot get
Okay,
ahead of your fellow
Gotcha.
allies. But like I said, if somebody does come along that would become your enemy and they get put into initiative order, I will let you all advocate.
Gotcha.
So for right now, the order is Quinn, Tom, Teddy, Maya. Like I said, when Calvin gets in here, he will be added. For right now, though, you all look around in this hallway that you're standing in. Still bits of kind of purple haze leave around where Maya's mother and Quinn's mother once stood together. You all look around, and Calvin, who was in the back of your pack, is now gone. What would you all like to start with? You know that you've cleared one wing of this building already. There were 6 wings of the building that you all could see from the nurse's station. You all cleared wing 4. You're currently standing in wing 5.
I say we sweep wing 5
Yeah.
and then go from there.
You all go ahead and make investigation checks for me. That sounds correct.
It's a 7 on a D10.
All right.
I got a 9 on a 12.
All right. Okay, so with those, and I'll actually go ahead and roll for Teddy and Maya. They are both fully statted out, so that helps a little bit. Yeah. Teddy's was trash.
God damn it, Teddy.
Maya's was not, though. Maya got a 7 out of 10, so not bad. Teddy is sort of just dumbfounded by what's happened in front of him. He has no clue how to take that. But Maya, along with you two, can see that this hallway is set up much like Wing 4 was, but this time there are doors on both sides of the hallway. There are probably like 6 doors on each side. You can see that none of them are labeled with anything but a number in this wing. You assume that's probably supposed to look like patients' rooms, but from what you all have gathered, there are no real patients up here. So you all can feel free to check doors however you would like. I would like to know if you are trying to sneak, if you are trying to check for any sort of trap or anything. Not saying that that's super necessary, but it might be a thing you want to do. If you are listening for noises, anything like that as you're checking these doors, I would like to know that as you describe to me what ones you're checking.
And since we're in the is it the 500 wing that goes down to the
Mhm.
basement?
Yes,
Okay, so
somewhere
maybe
somewhere in the 500 wing goes down to the basement from the schematics that you all found earlier.
all right. Maybe once we clear out this wing, head down there, take care of what we need to do, then come back up and clear what we need.
Yeah.
Because I feel like that'll take a lot down.
Let's take either side of the hall.
I'll take the right side.
Okay. I'm gonna go up to the first door on the left, and I'm gonna listen and whatever it would be to just kind of investigate the door.
Okay. So you go up to this door. You don't hear anything coming from inside of it. as you try the door itself, you find that it's locked.
Can I use my lockpicking kit?
You sure can.
Okay. To unlock it. What do I roll for that one?
You roll
Is it
finesse,
I think so.
I think.
It's not a good one. Okay. A 5 on a d6.
Okay, yeah, that'll totally work. Lock comes open pretty easily, not a big deal at all. You walk in, the room is pitch black. There are definitely no windows in here because you would at least be able to see street lamps.
Is there a
Um,
light
but-
switch?
Yeah, you feel along the wall, flip a light switch. This looks like an office. There are file cabinets, a pretty large desk with one of those lamps with the green shades on them, like the classic library desks or classic library lamps. There are some certificates on the walls. Um, you don't recognize the name on them. It almost looks like it's like a stage office, maybe like
I'm-
it's like doctorate of things on the wall, so you
Yeah.
assume that either this person is a real doctor that maybe once worked in this rehab, or like that this has been staged to look like this.
Can I look at files?
You sure can. The first file cabinet you open, completely empty. The second one though has some different names on files. Some of them you recognize. Goodness, some of them you recognize from like people around town, and things like that. And then there are a couple that say things like Operation RC, and things like that.
I'm literally gonna snap pictures of any and everything and send them straight to my server.
Okay, cool. So you go ahead and do that. Um, you you go through, you snap pictures of everything. It doesn't take you super long to do it, but I will say that that probably costs you the rest of your turn.
That's fine.
So we move to Tom.
All right, is this
I
first
call
door?
out in the hall that it's an office.
All right, I'll check this room here. The first door on the right.
Okay, first door on the right. You're going to go up to it. This one is not locked. So you open the door, you flip the light switch on.
Before that happens, when I call out that it's an office, I am gonna yell out, everyone take pictures of anything and send them to me immediately.
Dasha.
So that way I can just back everything up.
I pull out my phone and I just hit record, start doing a video as I walk in.
Okay. You walk in, as you flip on the light switch. This room in particular just, it feels not, this one is not staged at all. Like this one probably tells way too much of the truth. There are just like tables, like the foldable tables, just kind of out in 3 rows, and along these tables there are pictures of like files that are open with pictures strewn around the place, and they're pictures of you, Luna, and Penelope.
The pictures are just they're just everywhere.
Like all along these 3 tables. Like the one to
Okay.
the left is you, the one in the middle is Luna, and the one to the right is Penelope.
I walk up and I start waving my phone that's recording over all of the tables, and I try to see what it was like before
This-
all of this, to see if it's like really, really older pictures or.
they sort of seem to span your lifetime. So like the earliest picture that you can find of you is probably like 4 years old or so. And they're all like normal pictures. They look like things probably that your parents or like relatives would have taken at like holidays and things like that. None of these look out of the ordinary at all. So like there is nothing with these that would like say anything about your time being here. There is nothing
Mhm.
that would say anything about medical things or like your times of being disappeared, or anything like that. They are literally just photos from like childhood, your span up until like current age you, definitely not recent photos, but like you look about the age you are now, probably. Luna's probably go until like right before she disappeared. Same thing goes for Penelope. And these are all just, like I said, very regular pictures. Like there is no information in any of these that would make you get any additional information about your time here.
But it's just memories I just don't remember having.
Yes.
So I definitely take my time looking at them for a
Yeah.
little bit before
Okay.
investigating the rest of the room.
Yeah. I'm going to say if you want to take time to look at those, that's totally fine, but it's probably going to take the rest of your turn for this one. But you
Like,
all
hey,
have 15 rounds.
and I call out into the hallway. It's like, hey, I found a lot of photos of my family. It's kind of weird.
Are there any files?
I turn around to face the rest of the room.
You I'll give you this. I won't give you like what all is in that will be for next turn, but I will give you, as you look to the rest of the room, there's like one wall is just like a whiteboard, like a whole wall is a whiteboard. And it's got each of your names, with some other stuff underneath it, but you can't super tell what it is just by looking at it from far away. And then another wall has like pinned timelines of each of you. So like there's like a spot that says Tom, and then there's a red line underneath it with pictures pinned to it that you would assume is like a timeline sort of situation.
I start tracing that with the video too before I leave the room.
Okay. So that will call your turn.
Yeah.
Maya is going to run down the hallway back into Wing 4. And she is going to shout back to you all, the door we came through is gone.
That's fine.
Can't you draw a new one?
I can. She runs back down the hallway so she can like talk to you all normally. I can, and I have a way to get us out, but it takes time. Like if
Okay.
to do it, I can't help you all search, not for a
Gotcha.
while at least.
So we'll save that for a last resort if you want to help.
Okay, but like it takes serious time.
Gotcha.
I will give you all for free. What Maya is referring to is the spell that she used in the very first Fates assignment you all had.
That's what I was
which
thinking.
the coffee
Yeah.
shop. But to do that spell, you have to have, as a creator, to do that spell, you have to have a piece of art that is big enough for your entire body to fit through. Like you would
So you have to
be
like
able
make a mural or
walk
something.
into it. Yeah, it has to be like a mural or something of that size in order for her to use that spell. You all are in a rehabilitation center that's not a real one. So finding art, not something that's super going to happen easily. So Maya would have to make a piece of art that
But,
is
like,
big enough for you all
how
to fit through.
detailed does this piece of art have to be? Can't it just be
Not detailed,
like?
but it has to be more than like it's got to be big enough and complete enough for the magic that is to consider it worth using.
Couldn't she
Essentially,
just paint a door?
she could essentially, but that's still going to take more than one round.
We're already down one person. If we're down two people, I don't think we're gonna get out of this in 15 rounds.
I would say that it will probably take Maya 3 rounds to be able to do what she needs to do. So it's not like she has to, like, you don't have to have her do it immediately. You also don't have to have her wait till the very end to do it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I wouldn't do it right now because who knows, we may end somewhere that's not up here by the 4th floor.
Mm-hmm.
Or by the 400 wing. So, if we need that, we'll let you go do that. But right now we need to clear as much of this place as we can.
Okay, so Maya will nod and she will head down towards the end of the 500 wing you all are not on, so she can meet you all in the middle. But I'm going to say that that is Maya's turn to be able to run to the 400 wing, figure that out, run back, and you all to have this conversation.
Gotcha.
But with that, we have Teddy. So Teddy also runs down the hallway with Maya, but he goes ahead and goes into a door. He shouts down to you all that what he has found, which I will let you all join him in there if you would like, to at least observe. What Teddy has found is essentially a storage room that they were using for Wi-Fi, but now seems to be empty. There are some like documents that he can still find in it, but as far as like there's like a grid kind of taped off on the floor that's got like, you know, this here, this here, this here, and with the documentation you find, you can gather with Teddy that this was probably Wi-Fi storage, but right now it's cleared out.
Okay. Can I this you're probably gonna tell me no. Can I do two things at once if it's something you can actually multitask?
Depends on what they are.
Could I make a phone call and search a room at the same time?
I will let you do that, but to search the room, I'm gonna have you roll investigation with disfavor because you're also distracted by a phone call. But I'll let you do them.
I don't know if it's worth it.
I mean, even if you roll and you fail, that doesn't mean somebody else cannot search the room.
No, but I don't want to take up more time when we're already a person down.
But I will let you do them on the same round. Because now it is circled back to your turn.
Can I search the room and then make a phone call?
I'll let you do that. I'll call searching the room your action and a phone call
Bonus action?
bonus action.
Okay.
Yeah, we'll call it that.
Okay, so I will go to the next door and do the same procedure. Listen, kind of check it before I just go in.
Okay.
That is a 9 on a 12. Oh wait, I don't have a plus for investigation.
Okay. So you get to this door. You hear kind of just like a what sounds like a vent, like a I'm trying to think of the best way to word this, like a rush of like heat and air, like the clearly the sound
it
you
one
would
of
hear
those
from
things?
an air conditioning unit. The door to this one is locked.
Okay, lockpick it.
Mhm.
6 on a 6.
Fantastic. Yeah, those things are stupid easy at this point. You go ahead, pop the door open, and you see the same thing that you saw before. The heating cooling pipes going into the ceiling and to the
Can
floor.
I just immediately go and disable it?
Yep, absolutely. You know how to do it by now because you asked your friendly ghost last time.
I did ask my ghost friends.
Yeah, you asked your ghost friend. So yeah, you go ahead, pop it off. You go ahead and tear out all the wiring. This one is down. So now you all have taken care of 2 of the heating and cooling units that are
There were
used
4
somewhere in this building. I thought 3, but maybe there was
maybe
4.
3. I think you're right.
Yeah, okay. We're gonna go with 3.
Okay. I am going to call Riley.
Okay. He picks up pretty much on the last ring.
What are you doing?
Right now I'm just at the station. Some guys got pulled for night patrol, including me. What's up?
Can you go home?
Um, probably soon. I gotta finish some stuff up real quick, but I could probably leave here in like 20 minutes. Why?
Because the police station's not safe.
I mean, it's not safe. I'm literally with police officers all day.
Riley, I
What do you?
just saw Mom.
What do you? What do you? What do you mean you saw?
I just
Mom?
saw Mom. Apparently, you and I have both had multiple conversations with her over the past 6 years, but we don't remember it because she wipes us afterwards.
She. No, she's. I thought she was like that.
Yeah, I did too. But she's not. And she's helping with the white bite, and it's getting worse. And I can't tell you any more than this, but I just. She said she has people at the police station. I want you to be safe, and I don't want you to be there.
Okay. Okay. Yeah. I'll fake sick or something. Yeah. I'll get out. I will text you when I get home.
And whatever you do, do not go to the church meeting.
I won't. I'll fake sick enough that I need to stay home tomorrow.
Thank you. I love you.
I love you too.
If
Okay?
you don't hear from
Please,
me,
I don't know what you're doing, but please be careful.
just know
And
that
for me, please be careful.
I'm trying, but just know that if I get wiped, I found something. Okay?
Okay.
I love you.
I love you too.
And then she hangs up the phone.
So Riley at least knows now. There we go. And we will call that the end of your turn. But you have disabled another one of the heating and cooling systems, which is great. And with that, we are to Tom.
I'm gonna check out the next room, or I guess like scan more of like what's in here to like document it before we move on to the next room.
Okay. Yeah, you can video the timelines of you and Penelope and Luna. They're all up there. You can also scan over the whiteboard and things like that. Upon a bit of a closer inspection, a lot of the things under your names look like numbers, and like chemical compounds. Um, but that's all you got. The Tom is not one to have a huge science background, so it's definitely not something you would know naturally. Um,
Those are
you
probably
would
the
have
ones that
to.
they different like things they used on us in different trials of getting them
That's
just right.
that would be a good guess, but you wouldn't be able to know what those things were without sitting down and looking
Yeah.
at everything
Yeah.
that this physically says in front of you. But I'll absolutely let you document all of that. And so you go back out into the hallway. Maya, I'm gonna let Maya's turn intersect yours a little bit. Maya has already opened the next door up for you. Um, so you two can go in together to look at that. You see the exact same setup of the room you were just in, but this one is just for one person, and that person is Maya. So there is a table filled out with pictures of Maya on it, probably spanning about the time she was born. And one of them, she picks up, and you see her brow furrow a bit. And if you look over her shoulder, you can see that this photo is very recent. In fact, it is from the day you recognize by her outfit, and also what's on the front of her sketchbook that she's holding in the photo. It is from the day that everything happened at Bella's. She also there's like also a whiteboard with her name and a bunch of numbers chemical compounds, things like that, in a timeline set up in the back of the room, the exact same way that all of yours is. This room just happens to only be for mine.
All right, I just do like a quick scan and tell her, take your time. I just saw mine, and it's a lot. I know.
She just nods, um, and she picks up a few of the photos and stuffs them into her bag. So you all collect the information that's in this room. I will just go ahead and let you all have the whole room in one round since both of you are working on it. You all scan everything that's in the room. You all have copies of everything now, and it's all straight to Quinn servers. Teddy goes into he goes ahead and opens 3 doors that are down the hallway. Just opens them all, but doesn't really go in. At a glance, you all can see that 2 of these are just like janitor closet sort of things. Like they hold supplies for cleaning and things like that. The 3rd room has like a bunch of shelves with test tubes and vials and things on them. None of them are labeled, but they carry all sorts of different colored liquids. Some of them are thick and red. Some of them are like if you would tip the bottle, everything would flow very freely, and it's like a bright blue iridescent color. There's everything from orange to yellow to green. Some that are thick, like a mucus sort of thing, and then others that are extremely thin and run like ink.
Is there any kind of blunt object in either of the janitor's closets?
Oh,
I
I'm
wanna
sure you can
smash
find a
that shit.
broom.
Yeah, I'm going. Is Teddy doing anything?
Teddy he's opened all the doors. He's just sort of peeking in. He is trying to. It kind of looks like he's trying to assess what may be in some of these, but he's not like moved to open them or anything like that.
Okay, I am going to stop by. I'm assuming they're the doors closest to me.
Yeah. So
Okay.
essentially, Teddy has made his way back and met you in the middle on one
Okay.
side of the hallway. So now there's only like 2 doors in this hall that aren't open.
Okay. I'm going to go break the broom part, like the actual sweeping part, off of a broom. I'm gonna go in that room. I'm gonna snap pictures of everything. I'm gonna upload them to my server, and then I'm going to just take the broom handle to all of those fucking vials.
Fantastic. I love that for you. I'm gonna give
I
you
hear
this
the
for
thing
free
start
'cause
smashing, and I
sounds
just start
fun.
hooting for her.
Yep. Yeah, I'm not even making you spend your turn on this. I just love that you went straight to I'm gonna break it all. So you can have it for free. You swing this broomstick and glass shatters all over the room. I would like you to make a save
Okay.
for me. I'm gonna call
I'll come out and
this
get video of it.
character. I'm gonna call this a character save.
Okay. Rolled a 9 on a d10.
That works wonderfully. You are somehow, in some sort of miracle, able to dodge all of this glass that
It's
just
just
is
the rage.
raining down in this room. Liquid starts to spill off of
rage
the
has
shelves.
just
Some
created a
things
force field.
bubble and hiss as they interact, as they flow together. You hear like the small like pops, and you see one even start to like release this sort of gas, but it seems harmless enough. And with that, this room is destroyed. There is no sort of chemical or whatever was in those vials left.
Great. It may have been helpful, but I don't give a fuck.
It's all right,
Quinn is just so mad right now.
as she should be, to be honest. It's been a rough day for Gwen. With that, since I gave you that as free, it is still your turn. You still have everything left.
Oh, nice. Okay. Have they checked all the rooms on the right side yet?
There are two that are left unopened.
Okay, so I'm gonna go to the next room on the right that hasn't been opened yet.
Okay, you go ahead, and this one is also unlocked. It is the one that is directly beside the room with everything of Maya in it. And you open the door and turn on the light to find a room for you and Riley. There are two tables. One is for you and one is for Riley. They only hold pictures of you all. Like I said, there is nothing medical on there. They're just pictures of you all from childhood to now. None of yours or Riley's look recent, as not nearly as recent as Maya's. You all both have timelines on the back wall, but what differs here is on the whiteboard wall, you all just have your names up there. There is nothing written underneath your names.
I'm going to snap pictures of these and I'm going to send them immediately to Riley without any explanation. And I'm going to send them to my server. And I am just going to tear that fucking room apart.
Okay. You send the text to Riley. You don't get an immediate response back. But you tear the room to shreds. The tables are flipped. The photos fly everywhere. The timeline, you just rip the photos down off of the wall that are pinned to each of them. By the end, it doesn't even look like much of a room anymore, to be honest.
Okay. That's my turn.
Fair enough. We go to Tom.
Tom moves on to the next room on the right, which he is assuming is a room for Calvin and his family.
You would be correct. As you open this last door, you see a room that is specifically for Calvin. You see pictures on the table of like Calvin and his family, which you would assume would have to be from before they tried to move here, considering you all know for a fact that Calvin's family died in a car accident on their way into
I'm sure they
town.
found a bunch of pictures in the moving boxes and things.
Essentially, yeah. These photos would be from before the move, and what they tried to move here with. The remainder are all of Calvin as he grew up. There are pictures of him in school and like his first time at the church and things like that. Calvin also has a timeline on the wall, and he also has a whiteboard wall, but much like Quinn and Riley's names, there is nothing written underneath it.
I do a scan with my. I do a video of everything, and go back out into the hallway.
Absolutely. The only door that is left would be the door you all need to go through to get to the basement, and also the patient ward, according to your ghost friend. With that, we are in the middle of round 3 with Maya. So Maya will go ahead and open that door and lead the rest of you all downstairs. This movement does not count against you in any way towards any of your rounds. This is just to get all of you down to the basement. So once you all get down to the basement, it, for the most part, what is in front of you is a very large open room with cement flooring, some like the very gray brick cinder block wall. There are support beams that are like brown and rusted, holding up certain sections. You can kind of see pieces of the ceiling have been caved in, like the drywall sort of thing that hasn't been taken care of, so it's just cracked and falling apart. There are no like light fixtures down here. Instead, it's just strings of of light bulbs that are sort of open and exposed, some of which have wires coming off of them that spark every once in a while. Um, the lights flicker here and there. You can definitely tell that this place is not well kept at all. Um, but outside of the very open area that you see, there are some doors down at the end, a set of double doors. One has like a chain that's keeping it closed. Another set of double doors that doesn't seem to be blocked off in any way. And then there's a small hallway that is off to the right.
Do I see any metal beds?
Not in this vicinity, you do not. Maya sort of just looks at the two of you and seems very unsure of where to head. So she's looking for some direction.
If you want to check out the hallway, I might try to take that chain out.
I can take it out with my gun.
That works.
Maya nods and she takes Teddy off to that hallway. So for free, because the two of them are doing it for you, I will give you that this small hallway doesn't really lead to anywhere super helpful in a lot of ways. There is stuff back there as far as it looks like maybe where they used to make things, but it looks very abandoned. There may be some documents that you all want to look at back there, but outside of that, they basically shout out that they'll bring the documents with them, but back there is mostly a dead end.
Do you want to check the other double door while I take out this chain?
I'm on it.
I'm assuming there's like a lock on the chain.
There is. There's like a padlock keeping everything closed.
Okay, I'm gonna shoot the padlock.
Fantastic. Can you roll to shoot for me?
In this big concrete, it's like, oof, that's gonna be loud.
Okay, I know 1d8 is the damage it does, but we never talked about what...
Go ahead and roll just like a d20 for me. I'm gonna treat this just as if you were shooting a person.
Okay.
But the DC is just much lower.
I rolled a 18.
Oh yeah, you're fine. You're totally good. You go ahead and aim, and in your furious rage, your aim's just gotten even better, quite frankly. You shoot at this lock. Even if you rolled a 1, it's a bullet. This thing would have been done. So the lock is in essence destroyed. And you are able to tear it away and get the chain unwrapped from the door.
I'm gonna get the chain unwrapped, and just because Quinn has hit this very dark place that Quinn has never hit before, Quinn's behavior is going to change a lot. So Quinn's just gonna fucking kick this door in.
Honestly, as it would. When faced with what you've been faced with, as anyone's behavior would change. Yeah, you feel free. You go ahead and kick the door down. On the other side of this door, you see where they currently must be making things. You see huge vats of they are mostly like the whitish grayish color that looks very similar to the picture that Luna sent you, but these are ginormous. Like, these are ones that are clearly not meant to be moved. They would have to be stationary, or it would take a ton of people to move it. There are small windows on the side of them that you can sort of see what's inside. One has like a very like bubbly blue liquid. One has like a thick green liquid that almost seems like sludge as a paddle inside of the vat turns it. You see 5 of these around the room, and then you see lots of just like assembly line sort of looking machines. You see one machine in particular that almost looks like a giant mixing bowl with like a paddle turning around inside of it. Currently, it's empty and the paddle is off. But what you could probably gather is that like it would be used to mix very large batches of things. Um, there are some, um, some machines kind of far off that would specifically look like they're meant to load syringes, and things like that. So you can gather that this room in particular is where they are making a lot of Whitebite, if not all of it.
Okay. How big is this room?
It's pretty big. I mean, I would say that you're looking at like the size of a small warehouse just in this room alone.
Okay, well, first I'm going to take lots of pictures.
Cool. Love that for you.
And then, just as a test, I'm going to shoot a bullet from a distance into one of the giant vats to see if a bullet will go through the side of it.
Okay, you go ahead and shoot
We'll
that
say
bullet.
the blue liquid one.
Cool. I love that. Go ahead and roll for me the same way you did for the lock, but this DC is higher for sure.
A 15.
Okay, that's not quite gonna do it. So when you shoot your gun, the bullet makes contact with the metal, and it does not ricochet, but it also does not pierce. You hear a slight ping as something falls to the ground, and you walk over to inspect it, only to find that the bullet has now become flat like a pancake. It sort of just took all of its force and was stopped by the vat, and so the force sort of made it cave in on itself very quickly.
Okay. Fuck, I don't know what to do. We've got down 2 of the heating and cooling mechanisms. Is it looking like things are not functioning quite right?
Give me an observation check.
Where's my D12? There you are. 10.
A 10?
Yes.
Yeah, that'll work. You can see just from kind of different stuff around the room, certain vats look like they may have steam coming out of them, but like not in a healthy way. It looks like they maybe aren't functioning completely correctly. They're definitely not fully broken, but they could definitely be running better.
Could anything be forced over, or is everything too big?
The vats are definitely too big. For any of those to be moved, it would take several people to do anything.
I mean, even just to knock it over?
To knock it over, especially, I think. Especially with all the liquid that's inside of it. There are definitely, like, smaller pieces of machinery that you could do something to, but the vats by yourself, no.
Okay, well... fuck. Is there anything I can take the broom handle to and fuck up?
You could certainly attempt to. You could try it on some different machinery. You could maybe try it on the windows to the vats. Um,
Yeah, let me try that.
okay.
I highly doubt it's gonna work if a bullet won't puncture the metal, but
Well, this is a window this is the window that's on the vat, not the metal.
okay.
So the DC is lower, although it is not low, but it's lower than the metal is.
Okay, what am I just doing a d20 for that one?
Um,
Hold on. Let me look at my special abilities. I keep forgetting I have things.
you all do, and you all do not take advantage of it.
I already know what I'm doing to Allison the next time I see her. Oh, this all affects people. Fuck. Would you call trying to destroy these vats a large task?
I would, in fact, call trying to destroy these vats a large task. I think that is very aptly fitting of a name
Okay.
for what you're trying to do.
I'm going to cast From Beyond.
Okay.
It is one action. The range is 30 feet and it lasts 3 rounds. The caster may summon 1d4 spirits to help aid in battle or other large tasks. These spirits stay for 3 rounds.
Okay. Normally, I would say that your action has already been used this round, but you all would technically, had all things gone right tonight, have an extra pair of hands to help you. So I'm going to let you have this action in Calvin's stead, essentially. Okay. So yeah, feel free to cast.
Okay. I rolled a 3 for the spirits. What do I have to roll to cast again?
You roll. Doggone it, what do Reapers roll?
I don't know. It's I haven't cast since like.
You haven't cast at all, I don't think, since the toy fight.
I cast last week, but I don't remember how I did it.
I don't remember either. I'm gonna say that your casting is done with intuition.
Cool. I will take that.
Cool. That's what we're going with.
Great.
And if it's not that, and the book gets published, everybody just ignore it.
That's a 10 on a d12.
Yeah, perfect. That'll work. So you describe to me what it looks like when you're casting these.
So essentially, because magic equals light and wind, in anything, if there's magic, there's light and or wind.
I mean, essentially, that does sound correct.
So, Quinn sticks her gun in her holster and just kind of puts her hands out, like palms facing out, down by her sides. And a wind kind of picks up around her, and you see purple glowing from her hands, and her eyes are closed. And 3 spirits just kind of emerge from the shadow, kind of with like an aura of purple light around them. To me, spirit means that they're not necessarily like, oh, it's a person, or it's like a being, kind of like an humanoid type shape. But
Perfectly fine. It's your spirit.
Yeah, there's no like real defining features on them.
Okay.
And after she has finished the spell, she opens her eyes again and says, I need help destroying this room.
All right. All three spirits nod in whatever way you can consider it nodding. As you said, they're not like perfectly formed people, but they just sort of give you the vibe of like, we got this. Um and with that, they will get to work. You sort of see all the lights flicker for a second, and when the lights come back up, the vats themselves look like they're glowing with the same energy that made up your spirits that came in the first place. They start to shake almost like there's an earthquake, but you feel steady on the ground. But the vats themselves shake like two tectonic plates are just doing their thing in the earth. Um, and after a minute of the shaking, one of the vats breaks and liquid starts
Hell
to
yeah.
seep out onto the floor, and then the next vat breaks and starts to seep onto the floor, and then the last three all explode at once. um Give me a character save.
Damn, hope you got that on video.
Right? I wish. Oh, that's a fucking 10.
Ooh, we love that.
Rolling hot. Rolling hot.
You're rolling really well tonight.
Compared to the game we played the other day, I'm rolling hot.
So these vats, now all destroyed, have liquid seeping out. The minute that the thick green one I described earlier, the minute it starts to touch the legs of the equipment that stands in the middle of the room, you hear this like burning and hissing sound. And if you look closely enough, you can see the metal being corroded away from itself. So slowly this one
Cool.
piece of machinery is being eaten by this green gunk that has seeped out of this vat.
Cool. That's gonna be injected into people.
Yes it is.
Right.
Cool. Great. Okay.
Check what you're putting in your bodies, people.
Not
PSA.
everybody has death magic, bitch. I'm gonna show you later. Show you my fucking death magic.
She is sorry, you got me back on the Allison train. The blue liquid sort of starts to form in with the like thick red that almost reminds you of blood. And it mixes to make this purple bubbling sort of substance on the floor. And a minute later you kind of see the new purple liquid start to sink. And you realize slowly that this purple liquid is eating away at the floor and has sort of created its own crater in the cement. Your spirit friends come back to stand in front of you, and they all sort of again give you their proverbial nod before they vanish.
They're around for 3 rounds.
Oh no, you are correct. They are around for 3 rounds. I am a liar. So they will stand there and await your further instruction, but I will call that the end of your turn.
I feel like that's okay. I'll take
I
it.
feel like that is the end of your turn.
I feel okay with that.
That's fair. So with that, we move on to Tom, who, if I am correct, was checking out the other set of double doors? Question mark.
Yes.
All right. So you are able to enter through these double doors freely because there was no padlock for you to shoot. You
didn't have to shoot things or kick
No.
things or summon spirits.
I still kick
to
them. I
destroy
kick the
a
doors out of
room.
spirit.
you
Just
needed
do it.
things to get your rage out. I provided those things.
I can tell you right now, I am going to be using, because I picked it on purpose and I still haven't gotten to use it. I'm going to be using, oh fuck, where's it at? My special ability, what could be, on Allison when I see her next.
I love that, and I can't wait to see it play out.
I'm going to, oh, I hope Maya has made her peace, because I'm a fuck up her mom, if not murder her.
Fair enough. As Tom, as you walk through this set of double doors,
I kick them open.
Or
Good
yeah,
for you.
feel
Proud
free,
of you.
kick them open.
Do you watch me
Look.
shoot and then kick the doors open? So you're like, I'm gonna do that too. Boom.
I see what she did. I hear the commotion. I'm like, okay, it's time to like psych himself up. So
We're
he's
doing this
holding
shit.
the handles. He's holding the handles of both the knives in his sleeves. He's like, okay, you got this. You're not a fucking criminal. You're a goddamn big brother. So let's do this shit. And I kick the door open.
The vibe of the night is kicking indoors, and I feel that on a spiritual level. So you kick the door down. You walk into this room. This room looks much more well kept than the sort of area you were just in. There is white tile that lines the floor that looks very clean. The walls themselves are sort of still the cinder block situation, but somebody's painted them white at least, so it's all very bright in here because the light bulbs that are exposed reflect off of all of the white that's happening. You do see in this room that there are metal tables that almost look like the tables you find in the morgue, that are like just the big metal tables with like the drain in the middle of them. So there are you would guess probably 12 of these in this room.
Unoccupied.
Yes, all unoccupied.
And I see it. Like, do I see any other doors? Or is it just this room?
From what you can see, it is just this room. You see some like counter space up against the walls. So some of the counter space holds like tools of a sort, like medical instruments and things like that.
I raid through those for sharp objects and
okay, fantastic.
go
I'll let
through
you
like
have
any
that one
files.
as a free object interaction sort of situation. You can find a scalpel pretty easily. But
Let's take
out
some people's faces off.
I mean, hey, why not? There is not a like obvious door though. There you could search for one to see if there's one in here, but upon like your first look at the room, there's nothing that you would think, "Oh, that's a door."
I'd like to look a little harder.
Yeah, go for it. Roll investigation.
All right,
like
off a D10. That's another 7. Hell yeah.
That'll work. You see sort of, if you look along the wall that's furthest from the door you walked in, you sort of see like some of these bricks don't line up correctly with other bricks on the wall. So it almost looks like somebody cut things incorrectly. You could definitely say that area looks wrong. But there is no like obvious indicator of like, hi, this is a door and here is how you open it.
I go up and like try to push or feel around to see if there's some sort of trigger.
Give me. I feel like this needs to be a roll, but I don't know what. You know what? You tell me. What skill would you like to use to find this door? I'm feeling very generous today. Because you all are down a Calvin.
Honestly, I would use finesse.
I think I could try something in the finesse, yeah. I don't know if I could use trickery or sneak in here at all.
Sneak doesn't super duper apply. I will say trickery
maybe trickery
does. Trickery is Memory Lane's version of sleight of hand for those of you that may not know. So I would say that we can probably use trickery. Go ahead.
I have a +2 to that.
Yeah, so go ahead and roll another roll for me for trickery.
All right, this is a D12 on my finesse.
Okay.
That was a 1 on the die.
Damn.
How interesting. So you sort of like fumble around, like hitting different places on this wall. And you hit one brick in particular and you think, oh, this must be it. So you kind of like slightly pressed it in the first time, and you're when it starts to give, you have this realization and you press it in harder and hear a click. And when you hear that click, it almost sounds like a lock turning into place.
I would like to burn a spark.
Re-roll that shit, man.
You can burn a spark to reroll that if you would like. Ignore everything I
Okay.
just
Oh
said.
my god. Okay, that's an 8 plus the
Mhm.
2. It's a 10 on a D12.
Perfect. The 10 works much better. Okay, so you feel around the wall and you feel a different brick than the one I described
You
before.
don't push on that brick. You
You
found
don't
another
push.
brick
You don't push on the first
in
brick.
the brick
Uh,
wall.
your
At first
hand
I go like,
glides
wait,
over it, and
not you.
you feel it start to go in a little bit, and you're like, I don't know, that's a bad vibe.
You tap him in the right
Bad
order so you
vibe
can
of
go
a
to
brick.
Diagon Alley, and it's perfect.
you feel over the first one that you felt, and you're like, I don't know, I get a bad vibe from this particular cement
Don't
block.
touch this one.
This feels like a bad choice. So you ignore that one, but you do follow along the wall to find that there is a brick that is just about at your eye level. And you notice as you're going to press it that the grout around this one, like there is just like everything looks like it's painted white, right? There is like a very thin, like would absolutely miss it if you were not standing directly in front of this wall. There's a very, very, very thin line of like a sky blue, just like painted down around this brick. You can probably assume that it is for orderlies and people like that Allison or whoever has deemed not smart enough to be able to get down there on their own. So they were like, they've got to have something that tells them where to go. So you press this brick that has this very minuscule outline on it, and it pushes into the wall fairly easily. And you hear a click. But this time, instead of it sounding like there is a locking mechanism being put into place, it sounds like perhaps there is a locking mechanism that is being taken out of place. So as soon as you press it and you hear this click, just this small section of wall that clearly, the bricks were not lined up correctly, just sort of pops out very, very discreetly, but just about this much room. But it pops out enough to where it is no longer flush with the wall.
And so I'm able to use that to open, like maybe use that as like a handle.
Essentially, if you would like to, you could use that as a handle, yeah.
Okay, I'd like to move the wall out of the way.
Okay, perfect. So you kind of grab this section of wall and it allows you to slide it out of the way.
Okay, cool.
So you see another room beyond that, but this room is pitch black.
Camera light on the cell.
Are you
Wait,
still
what?
recording?
Yeah, I just turned the flash on.
Okay, perfect. That'll totally work. You see in this room, this room is huge. Like as far as the eye can see, you see metal exam tables.
Mm-hmm.
These are not quite as foreboding as the ones in the previous room. They don't have the drains on them or anything like that, but they are metal exam tables. You would guess there has to be at least 50 in here, if not more. It's like a longer, narrower room. So it's like 3 rows that kind of just stretch back a really far way. Along the sides, you can see a few different metal doors. There are no windows or anything on them like that. But they're like heavy duty metal doors with rivets put in them. And there are just like small lights above each one, just to sort of signal like, hey, here's a door, but there is no identifying information.
But did you say there was a window in the door?
There are no windows in the doors.
Okay.
How many
I
doors are
brought up.
there?
There are 8.
I pick one and try to open it.
Give me what number you pick. I will let them be numbered for the purpose of
Okay, yeah.
readability in this moment. So we'll say that 1 through 4 are on the left wall and 5 through 8 are on the right wall.
I imagine I walk down the center, so I'll go for number 5.
Okay, so number 5, you go ahead and try this door. This one in particular is unlocked, and you open it up, and you don't see anybody in there, but you can see another metal table inside. One wall is just shelves of very similar chemicals to what you all saw upstairs in those vials before they were destroyed. There's just a whole wall of those. There's also like an IV setup. So you can tell that somebody, should they need fluids or anything like that, would be able to get that down here, but it's not none of the needles or anything are out. It's just like the stand sort of that's there.
And if that's what's in there, I pull the shelf over.
Yeah, go for it. You can totally do that. The shelf shatters like upon impact, like the metal pieces kind of pop and disjoint from each other, and the glass bottles themselves break apart into shards on the ground. There is like a drain in the middle of the floor, which you suspect is probably for this very reason, because all of the liquid starts to pool and go toward that drain.
And if I can, I go out and try to do another door.
I'm gonna call out the end of your turn, but I will let
Okay.
Teddy and Maya have caught back up with you all at this point. They have the documents in hand from the other door, or from the hallway. They bought the documents from there, and they will each go ahead and try a door for you all. And I'm gonna roll randomly to see what door they try. Because why not? All right, so Teddy is gonna try door number 4, and Maya is gonna try door number 8. They both open their doors to find similar situations. That are like vials of chemicals and things like that. The metal table in the middle. Maya immediately pulls down her shelf. She's sort of in the same rage point where Quinn is at this moment. She's not feeling hot. Teddy takes a few bottles and smashes them directly onto the floor and lets them drain out, but he does take one of each of the 4 different kinds that are in there. Not all 5 that Quinn would have seen in the other room, but he does have 4 of them. And he puts those 4 vials in like a front pocket on his back. And now we are back to Quinn.
Do I see him do that?
Probably not. Because I think I said he was in room 4.
Gotcha.
So he would be across the room from you.
Oh, that would be okay.
Yeah, because 1 through 4 are on the left and 5 through 8 are on the right.
So one thing I'm going to do before I leave that room is just take a quick video of what the chemicals are doing to the floor and all of that, okay, just so I have it. And then I'm going to head into the room that they are all in.
Okay.
And I am going to tell my spirits, help me find the people trapped in this place.
Okay, they all 3 immediately dart in different directions. You see all of the doors that are currently closed open, just slam back. One of them slams so hard that it breaks off of the hinges and just sort of clatters to the ground. The only one that does not open is door number 3. All of the rest of them you can now see just by standing in the middle of the room that they are all empty. All of the doors that are open have rooms that are empty, at least. They are all set up very similarly. Number 7 has pictures of x-rays up in one of those like x-ray light box sort of situations. The X-rays that you see, um, it looks like whatever has happened to this person has caused distress enough to their brain that it has caused cracks in the skull itself.
I'm gonna take pictures of that. So I then, if they went to the other three, I'm going to go to door number 7. And try and get door number 7 open.
There was 3 that.
You try to open door number 7. It is locked, and there is no like clear, like there doesn't seem to be anything on the door where you could use a lock picking set. It is literally just a handle attached to a heavy metal door that has rivets in it, and that's all you can see.
Can the spirits get it open?
Yeah, why not? You kind of call all of them over.
I'm just gonna kind of like put my hand on the door, and it's gonna be glowing purple, and say, please help me open this door.
They all do again. They're like nod-ish sort of thing. They all collapse to the ground, and you see their like energy move in under the very tiny opening that is under the door. It's so small that like most bugs probably still couldn't even get through it. But they're able to kind of shift in there. You feel the door start to rattle and shake again, like there's another earthquake, but you know that there was never an earthquake to begin with because your feet are standing on solid ground. But the door itself shakes, and then you can feel the door get extremely hot. So hot. Yeah, so hot that like it almost burns you to touch it. So as you back away, the door begins to melt off of its hinges. It turns into molten metal as it just liquefies and drips down until on the floor you see just a puddle of burning hot silver liquid. But as quickly as that happens, it solidifies and all of the energy leaves it again, and your friends stand up around you.
Thank you. I walk in the room.
In this room, in room number 7, you see a lot of things, but the first thing that you sort of lock eyes on is a girl laying on a metal exam table. She has an IV in her arm. There's blue liquid, like the blue bubbling liquid from the vat. It looks like dripping down through her IV. This girl has like the black short hair, and it looks very pale, like with a little bit of freckles and things, and you would swear has the same nose that Tom does.
I immediately take out the IV.
You take the IV out of her arm, but she does still seem to be unconscious.
What else is in the room?
There is a shelf full of all of those vials.
I'm sorry, before I take the IV out, I take a picture.
Okay.
And then I take the IV out of her arm.
Okay. There are the vials that are on the shelf. There is also a X-ray thing in here. But this one is not just pictures of her skull. It's like fairly big. It holds 4 X-rays on it. There's one of her skull. There is no damage, it seems, to it, but there is definitely something that's a little bit different. You just can't quite seem to figure out what that might be. But it definitely doesn't look the same as all of like the anatomy drawings you remember from school. There's one of her spine, which is not. When you look at a person from the side, a spine is supposed to vaguely look like the shape of the letter S. Her spine, however, looks like there's curvature where it's supposed to be, but there's also curvature where there's not supposed to be. So it almost looks just like a wavy line goes all the way through her body. There's one that is of her chest, like a chest x-ray, and it looks like her rib cage has been cracked in a couple different places. It doesn't, like, from what you can tell, it's probably from like organs like growing and changing versus anything else. And the last one is another one of her skull, but from a different angle, which it just shows the same thing. There is no damage to it, it just looks different. There is also like a chart. It's got her name on it. And a few other things, but nothing nothing that gives you like dates or anything like that.
I take pictures of everything and I just shove the chart in my bag.
Okay.
Can I turn the X-ray box off?
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm going to flip that off. I am going to kind of like try and get under her and like be able to have her like against me, to just kind of prop her up. And I'm gonna yell for Tom. And I'm going to just be quietly talking to her to see if I can bring her to.
Tom runs in there.
Actually, hold on. I'm sorry. Because why the fuck not? I've got.
Is there an ability?
I've got the points. Why not
It
use
might
them?
be.
Okay. I don't. Is she damaged? Like, is she actually?
From what you can see, she looks fine. Like, physically, she looks fine. She's just unconscious.
Would healing help her bring her to?
I don't know. I'm gonna go with probably not. Because this state of unconsciousness is not it's not like she was hit on the head. It's more of she was put in like a medically induced coma. So there's not necessarily anything to heal her from. She's definitely got stuff in her body that's not necessarily supposed to be there, but it's not hurting her in any way. It's just making her sleep.
Can one of my spirits wake her up?
This is the last thing I'm letting these spirits
That's
do.
fine.
I need you to know that.
That's round 3. That'll be the third thing they've
that
done.
is. So I will say that one of the spirits, not all 3, because that would be a lot to put on a human. But one sort of does their equivalent to a nod, and puts what can only be described as while not being a fully formed human, a humanoid hand on her chest, and then it disappears. For a few minutes, the whole world seems to go still. Not just the building you all are in, not just the 4 of you who are conscious and standing there, but the whole world seems to stop. And then after a moment, you just hear a and Luna's eyes pop open, but instead of seeing the color of her eyes, you just see like bright purple haze almost. Um she doesn't say anything. She keeps looking around. The purple does not leave her eyes in any way, but she's sort of looking around. She looks at you, she looks at Tom, she looks at Teddy and Maya standing in the doorway now as they have overheard the commotion. And after a moment, the purple fades from her eyes, and the spirit that helped Maya regain, or has helped Luna regain consciousness, stands beside their fellow spirits, before they all give one last wave goodbye and they melt into the floor.
Okay. I'm assuming that's my turn.
That is your turn, for
I
sure.
feel good about that.
Yeah. I'm being very generous with what
You really
constitutes
are.
a turn tonight because of Calvin not being here.
Okay.
This would have been much more
Let's-
strict had everything not happened, but it
crap.
literally, for those of you that are just watching, it happened 10 minutes before we went live, something like that. So we had to rearrange some things on the fly, but that's fine. I don't mind at all.
We're gonna take a break real fast.
Yes, we are.
And then we will be right back. So give us like 5 minutes, and we will be
Yeah.
right back. To complete this crazy story. Oh, you're gonna do it. Hold on. Hold on. I lied.
What is it?
The break window is now not working.
No!
Okay. Hold on.
Look, I made a very pretty, nice new stream starting soon. You may have seen it. We copied it, and Kylie made them into break and stream ending things, and they've all decided to break it one point or another today.
Don't give me Mark Twain quotes.
What?
Canva's giving me Mark Twain quotes as it's downloading
Canva,
things.
shut up.
I don't want a Mark Twain quote right now.
It's okay.
I just
Things happen.
want my just want download. You just went so fast, except for the very, very end. Come on.
Welcome to Canva. That's all I have to say on the subject. I hope y'all are liking this so far, though. I don't know. I came up with part of this at work today, so
This is
Hell yeah.
intense. I almost lost it earlier. I will say that. I kept it together. I almost cried just from the Riley and Quinn room.
Look, I've only made Drew cry. I've got to make everybody cry before the
I
series is over.
stopped myself before.
I'm still counting it as a win.
That's fine. Sorry.
You're fine. Technical difficulties, everybody.
If I was
totally
smart,
fine.
I would have pulled this up earlier and noticed it was a problem and have already done this.
Look, these things happen to the best of us. For those of you who may not know, Kylie and I built like an entire wall right before the stream started in our basement to try to cancel out the echo that you all have heard in other streams. We're trying real hard.
Okay, it's not working. So you're going to get a stream starting soon screen, but it should say be right back.
Be right back.
So just pretend for a moment and then
It says be right back.
and then we'll be right back. So we'll be right back.
We're professionals.
Don't worry,
Don't worry
the
about
stream's
it.
starting soon.
We're back.
Ah!
Hello. So as you can see, we now have a lovely Ryan Mack with us. Because Ryan was away with an emergency, he has no idea what's been happening either. So he's coming in just as blind as Calvin is. And with that, we jump back. We are currently in one of the 8 exam rooms that we found inside this room of many, many metal exam tables.
I should have
Quinn
had
is
them melt all the
holding-
fucking beds.
Huh?
I should have had them melt the beds while they were melting the doors. It's okay.
It's all right. Things happen. We jump back to a Quinn. Sorry, I have the hiccups now. Quinn holding a now conscious Luna. Tom is standing in the room as well. Maya and Teddy are in the doorway, and all of a sudden, from behind Maya and Teddy, you hear a crash. You all turn around to see Calvin is now on the floor between 2 of these metal exam tables. You can see that Calvin is not hurt in any way, at least not that you can see physically from here. But he does seem to be looking around and seems a bit confused.
Welcome back.
What happened?
I don't know, but you missed all the cool shit I did. Also,
We found my sister.
I might murder my mom and Maya's mom. Just giving you a heads up now that's a really good possibility.
That's a introduction.
Yeah.
How is your? I'm sure we'll get to it.
Tom goes to his sister and tries to comfort her.
Yeah, I'm gonna let you take over with that.
Luna kind of just like rubs at her face, and then in a moment seems very panicked, and starts to like tap all over her, like patting herself down, looking for something.
Mhm.
So yeah, she's like patting herself down and looking. Where to go? Where is it? Where did it go? Where did it go? Where did it go? And then she finally looks up and has this like moment of realization. And from what you can guess, that moment of realization is probably something along the lines of, you are not an orderly.
Yeah.
She kind of just slows to a stop. You found me.
Hey, sis.
I didn't. Thank God. Thank God, I didn't think you'd ever find me.
I just gave her the biggest hug. Hold her tight.
She hugs back as best she can, but she's not very strong at this point. You can kind of tell in the way that she's trying to squeeze you that she's very, very feeble for somebody in her age and her health. Even including what you saw on those X-rays. She's extremely
He did not
weak.
see those X-rays. I turned those off specifically.
Oh, you did not. Okay, that's fair. So you wouldn't know, but
Mhm.
you just think for her being her, she feels like she's pretty weak, in how she's trying to squeeze you to hug you. So
Hey, it's okay. You're weak now. It's like, rest up. I brought some help, and I lean out of the way so she can see Teddy.
she just smiles. It's about time you found me, goofball. And you can tell that tears are sort of welling up in her eyes, but she doesn't want anybody to see that. So she just kind of goes back to leaning against you.
I call Teddy over, and we try to like pick her up
Yeah,
and like to carry her out.
Teddy will help you support her weight. And you two are able to maneuver her around pretty easily between the two of you. It's not super hard.
Mhm.
So you and Teddy have a hold of Luna. Maya is sort of leaned up against the doorway, and she's looking at all the vials that are in that room. She goes over to the shelf, pulls it down, all the vials crash, and again they all sort of pool and drain into the drain that's in the middle of the floor of this room. So those are taken care of. Just to catch you up, Ryan, as you all are in the middle of Fate's assignment, so go ahead and roll initiative for me, and I will put you in the order that we've already established.
Look, we've got a lot of stuff. I say it's time we get out of here.
You all want to go ahead and head toward the exit? I mean, it's perfectly fine if you do. The
Or could
one thing I
Maya
would
just make
like
her
to
own down
remind
here?
all of you is that you don't know where an exit is, because the door you all came in
No, I
through
was
doesn't
gonna-
exist.
I was gonna give Maya time to
Oh, okay.
do
Yep.
her art.
Cool. So Maya will nod at that. She has a few supplies in her bag. But she also like looks around. There's obviously not art supplies down here, but there is enough stuff that she can sort of scrounge around, along with the paint and stuff she usually keeps in her bag. She'll go over to like a far wall and start working on something. Because as a reminder, it has to be big enough for you all to fit through, or the spell won't work. So she is going to go ahead and go do that. Is there anything else you all would like to do in this moment while you wait for her? Specifically, I ask because you all are on round, I want to say 7 or 8 at this point. I sort of lost track because I was being very generous with what a turn was. So
Well, I
the
mean,
point is, you all have time.
okay, do we want to go back upstairs and look through the other wings? I mean, I feel like we have so much information, and we
There's that
have-
last power source we might need to hit.
That is true. Okay.
You all would know from that schematic that the last one you all needed to hit was in Wing 2.
Okay.
Not that Quinn didn't do a good job of destroying everything already, but like just to hit him where
in
it hurts, I
case,
suppose.
You know, I like to do a thorough job.
Yeah.
So what if Teddy and Luna and Maya stay here?
That's safe.
Yeah. Just wait, you'll see. We're gonna shut the secret door.
Okay.
Since we know how to get into it now.
Without locking anything
Without
worse than
locking
it
it.
already is.
Without locking it. So we can never get in it.
Yeah, you know.
And I'm going to, if you two want to come with me, that's fine. If one of you wants to stay with them, that's okay too. But I'm going to take out that last piece of machinery and snap photos. Oh, the one rule we have is take pictures of whatever you find and send it to me immediately. That's the one rule we've got. And I say we take out that last piece of machinery, see if anything else is in that wing, and then we get the hell out. I'm going to tell Maya and Teddy. Obviously, they don't know we're in rounds, but if we don't get to them by what I guess would be round 15, to leave without us.
So you three head off. You all shut the door behind you. Teddy, as you all shut the door, just gives a little wave. And he is like sitting on the ground. He's got Luna laying on the ground. Is sort of tending to her. As she sort of, you can see that every once in a while she's trying to like insist that she get up, and Teddy kind of just gently pushes her back to the ground and goes no. So you all head off. Maya is still working on her art piece, and you all head back up the basement stairs and into wing 2. This hallway looks much like a lot of the other ones have, but you can see at the end, this must be the wing that faces like the front of the building, because very far off in the distance, probably 6 doors on either side, before you get there, is the little half partition wall, and beyond that is the receptionist desk that you all, maybe a day ago at this point, pulled Penelope away from. So with these 12 doors in front of you, you all may do whatever you'd like.
We just take it door by door, either side.
Mm-hmm.
All right, let's go.
Okay, for this, we will go ahead and skip Maya and Teddy. And Luna would be I could have rolled Luna into initiative, but there's really no point because we're skipping her turn anyway. Calvin, remind me what you got.
5.
Cool. So you are in the back of the pack when it comes to these 3.
It's okay. You actually didn't roll that much lower than everybody.
We're all way
else.
down there.
No, nobody rolled well
That's
for
good.
this. Don't worry. Everybody rolled trash.
I rolled a 12, but everybody else rolled single digit.
Yes, I was about to say everyone else rolled single digits though.
Yeah.
12 was the highest we had. So Quinn, we will start with you. You pick whatever door your heart desires.
I will go to the first door on the right, and I'll do my check.
Alrighty, you go ahead and make that check for me.
That is a 10 on the die.
Okay. You open this door, and this one is unlocked, and this also looks to be an office, but this one does not have any certificates on the wall or anything like that. It is just a very fancy looking desk, a couple of file cabinets. There are some pictures hanging around and things like that. But the stark contrast between this office and the other one that you found earlier is the other office looked very clean and pristine and almost like no one had ever used it, which is what made you think that maybe it was staged. This office does have paperwork around and things like that. It looks a bit more lived in, if that makes sense.
Okay, I'm going to immediately start going through files, taking pictures, file cabinets. I'm going to tear the room apart and take pictures of everything.
You go ahead and you take pictures of all of these things. Some of the files say specific like names of places and things like that. There is one file specifically that is for the church. I assume you take pictures of that as well.
I'm also going to take that with me.
Go for it. You go ahead and stash that in your bag. Fully let you have that one. But outside of that, once you take pictures of all the files and stuff, that seems to be about it for this room. There doesn't seem to be anything else super specific. Go ahead and give me an observation check. We're gonna call it that.
Rolled an 8 plus 2, it'll be a 10.
Cool. So a 10 will get you, as you look closer at these photos, you can see that some of these photos contain Allison Changeland. None of them contain Maya, but there is one other person. He, like, most of them are Allison at like special events with like groups of people or things like that. There is one picture of her and one other person, and he is dressed in a suit. He's like kind of like a tough, like built definitely looks like somebody that if they wanted to punch you in the face could do so very easily. Um, he always wears sunglasses. In the couple of pictures you see him in, both of them he has sunglasses on. Um, but like there's not anything super defining about him either.
So much for her magic. She needs a fucking bodyguard. Should have just pulled the goddamn trigger. All right. Okay. Yeah, I'm gonna, and I probably should have been saying this. Every time I upload shit, I wipe my phone.
Okay. Fair enough.
I should have been saying that, but I didn't. Just so it doesn't matter whether they get my phone or not.
Yeah.
They can wipe it all they want. I've already wiped it, so. Okay. Can I do anything else, or is that it?
That's probably about your turn. Now we move to Tom. So Tom, you go ahead and pick a door, any door, or if you want to do something different, by all means.
I want to do the I guess first door on the left.
Okay. You go ahead and open that door. Quinn absolutely has an app.
She just has a button that's just like reset to factory settings, but it saves her contacts, and that's it.
Yes,
it's just her contacts.
Tom, you open this door. It's unlocked. There's nothing super fancy about it or anything like that. You open the door, and you see that there it's very similar in layout to the rooms that were about you all, but the difference is that there are no pictures on these tables. There is no timeline that's labeled on the back wall. There's the line for it, but there is no photos or no name. The whiteboard just contains a lot of numbers with chemical makeups of things. It all, like, there are labels along the top that say like trial 1, trial 2, trial 3, trial 4. You can probably assume from all this, and I assume they are taking photos and or video. You can probably assume from what's in front of you that this was almost like a brainstorming room of like, hey, what if we tried this in this trial, or what if we did this instead, or what if we added this and took away this, or something to that effect. That's what all the numbers on the wall would tell you. You do see on the table there are no photos. There's nothing on this table at all, in fact, except for one piece of like the type of material, and y'all are gonna say that I'm young because I can't remember the name of it, but it's the cello sort of situation that you use on an overhead projector.
Oh, like the
No.
see-through.
Yes.
What is that?
I don't know.
Just like some clear plastic.
Yeah, it's like,
yeah,
it's
essentially
it's
clear
sheets,
plastic.
Yeah, that you can write on.
Yeah, so there is like one of those clear sheets, and on it are just the name, like the symbols for different chemical compounds, like yes, an acrylic sheet. Thank you so much, 5 Foot
Cool.
Latina. You're wonderful.
She got
because
this.
I did not know what it was called. There's one of those acrylic sheets, but there are on it is only the sort of symbols that you would find on the periodic table for different elements. And they're just kind of scattered in what looks like random places on this acrylic sheet.
Make sure to take a picture of all of that, and then I guess like erase what I can, and just full on Jesus flip the table.
Cool. Love that for you. So you erase the whiteboard wall? Is that what you're talking about erasing?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. So you're gonna erase the whiteboard wall for as much as it will erase, which most of it will come off. Some of it, like the titles of like trial 1, trial 2, like those have gotten a bit old at this point, so it's like almost
I just want to get rid of the important stuff.
off. Cool.
And like at least mess it up so like it's like they don't know what is what.
Yeah, you can totally do that.
If they looked at it.
You wipe all of that off. It now no longer exists as far as you are concerned, and unless somebody thought about taking pictures of it, much like you did, now they don't know. You feel free to flip that table. What are you doing with the acrylic sheet?
Let's take out a lighter and fucking burn it.
Sure.
I got a picture of it.
Cool. Yeah, you take out a lighter, you strike it up, and you just hold that acrylic sheet above the flame, and watch as it slowly does almost what Shrinky Dink does, where it like curls in on itself as it slowly burns. So by the time that you're done with it, it is no longer an acrylic sheet, but is more like a very small pebble that you have a hold of.
I wish I knew what he was doing, because I would definitely yell across the hall, "Stop making Shrinky Dinks. We have more important things to do."
So yeah, that is what you do with your turn. Your turn is now over.
Right.
Calvin, go for it.
I'm concerned that no one is going up to confront
that's
us.
That's the whole thing. We apparently.
Yeah, they know we're here. This
We've
is like
done
number
this
37,
38 times apparently.
Well, I mean, that's maybe something we can benefit from, I guess.
Maybe. She basically alluded that
I don't
this
even
whole
feel about this
place
yet.
is an escape room, and that we only have so much time to get out of it. So we're doing the finishing touches now. We did most of the work before while you were vanished. But yeah, now we're just putting the finishing touches on everything.
Okay, well, I'm gonna move to another door then. Let's see, left or right? What do I want to do? Left or right? Let them all decide. Left.
Cool. You go up
Next
to
door on the left.
Oh my goodness, it's a raid. Hi, raiders. What's
We
up?
have raiders.
Hello.
Hi.
Hello, y'all. What's up?
What?
Wow.
Thank you all for coming in.
Hello.
Yo.
If I knew we had raiders, I would have brushed my hair.
Just so we can catch the raiders up really fast. Hello, we're Homebrews and Homebodies. We're a group of friends that just play RPGs together every week. So it's so nice to see you all. Thank you all for raiding. We are currently in the middle of episode 7 of Everyone is Forgotten, which is our mini campaign that we're currently doing. It is basically about how the government's corrupt, not that we're putting real life inspiration into this at all. But it is just a cool homebrew thing that I came up with that uses a system that is called Memory Lane. You probably haven't heard of it, and that's because it's not published yet, because I'm the one that wrote it, and it's being published next month. And so this is our like live actual play of it to show off the system and to play test and things like that. We are currently in a rehabilitation center that is not a real rehabilitation center, that one of our NPCs that is a villain has trapped everybody in and made it sort of an escape room, because anything's an escape room if you have enough magic. And so that is where we currently are. Thank you so much. That's so sweet of you. So we are currently exploring a hallway. So we are on Calvin. Calvin, you go to the second door on your left. And you are able to open it really easily. It's not locked or anything like that. Once you hit the light switch, you can see that this room in particular, it is full of small vials of a like glowing teal liquid. It is almost hot. When you like get close to a pallet of it, you can feel heat radiating off of the pallet itself. And this room probably has like 5 or 6 pallets worth of this like glowing liquid in it.
Destroy it.
Would we be familiar with this as Wi-Fi or anything? Like, is this something?
Oh man, there have been so many
Give
chemicals.
me.
I don't even know as me if that's the case. It's just an
So
idea.
many chemicals today. Also, the layout was made by Mallory.
It
So not only
was.
did she write
Thank
this game
you.
system and this module, she also does all of our art. So she made this beautiful layout.
Thank you so
True,
much.
it's pretty dope.
Y'all are very sweet. I do my best. I'm just out here.
I just run stuff.
Oh, thank you so much.
Oh, I'm sorry. I have my mic turned down. I'm so sorry. My mic's turned down. We
Thank
built.
you so much for the follows, though. It's very
Yes,
sweet of
thank
you.
you. We really
Aw.
appreciate it. But yeah, Mal does all of our art, and does a wonderful job of it. I just kind of run things.
You do a wonderful job, and this stream would not exist without you.
Thank you. Thank you.
I just sit here and cry.
That's fair. I have made you cry multiple times on the show. Calvin, go ahead and give me. I will give you the option of. Actually, no, there is no option. Make it a history check.
Okay.
I lied. You get no options.
Calvin's back, so
Hey.
now there are no rules. Sorry.
Yep.
Something I'm good at.
Sorry about
Let's
it.
see. Sweet, not great at all.
You disappeared into the void. You came back. Now you,
You know
get to
what?
give me
I'm-
history checks.
I'm gonna use a spark on that instead. I don't like
Go
that
for it.
number.
Good
Let's make it a
choice.
bigger number.
Absolutely, feel free to.
That
spin
was
a
the
spark.
same number. That's not what you want.
For those
Yeah.
of you that are new, sparks are the equivalent of like inspiration is in D&D, but you can use it for more things. So if you need an object and it is not in your inventory, you can feel free to spend a spark and automatically it's in your inventory. What a magical experience. You can also use it to re-roll, if you are a character that uses a class that uses magic, you may use a spark to refill 5 of your power points.
Well, I got a 4 either way. Sadly for me.
What a shame. Out of what? What is the highest you can roll on that dice?
12.
Oh.
Okay, so not great.
You don't have any.
Not great.
You don't get
Not
any
great.
pluses.
I don't.
I do not believe he has anything that would give him a plus in history.
I didn't figure because I put a 12 in it.
So what you can tell from what you know about the world, which isn't a ton, your brain was wiped 5 months ago. Fair enough. From your past
Attempt
5
number
months
37.
of experience. Number 37, 38, who knows?
Who knows where
um,
we're at?
From what you do know from the past 5 months, you definitely know that this is a chemical that you've seen before. You definitely know that it is something that is like considered valuable to some, but you wouldn't know exactly what that may be. So it could be something that they use to make white bite. It could be white bite itself. It could be something Bella puts in the coffee every day. But it's important to somebody.
Well, I'm gonna at least take a couple of them so we can
Okay.
maybe learn more about it later. I mean, there's not. Is there anything else in the room like documentation or even like some
In this
like
room, no.
what's the word? Signage, like those chemical signage that's like this is fire resistant
Thank you
or
so much
fire
for stopping
vulnerable,
by.
or-
We really appreciate it.
Yes, thank you. You all
Yeah,
are very
thanks.
sweet.
Thank you.
In this room itself, you can find no documents. You just find the vials and like the pallets of vials. There aren't even any other shelves or anything in here. Like it is just
Mhm.
4 walls, a floor, a ceiling, and these pallets of vials.
How many? Can I get like a count maybe on how many are there roughly?
You would say that each pallet can probably hold 30 to 40 vials. And you're looking at 5 to 6 pallets.
I don't think OSHA's been here for a while, 5-foot Latina.
Okay, so something like 2 to 250, roughly.
Yes.
Okay.
This is a world of OSHA violations. Let me tell you about it. This
OSHA.
governmental body does not care about OSHA at all. In fact, OSHA can't enter the town.
Yeah,
They try
OSHA's
to
been
pass that line,
banned.
all of OSHA would be dead. And that's just the way the world works.
OSHA's like, I heard you guys have been making some chemical compounds. We're gonna need to take a look at that workstation. Poof, they're gone.
Yeah.
Truck driving up hits the barrier,
You
bounces
can't
back, and
get
is
an
crumpled.
OSHA violation if everybody from OSHA that tries to come to your town ends up dead anyways. You can't do it. There are no OSHA violations to be found. Pretty much.
Oh.
They get jokered into vats. They all melt. It's fine.
No.
They can't get jokered into the vats. I actually destroyed all of them, but
That's fair. She did destroy them.
they probably did before
Yeah.
that.
Her and her spirit buddies destroyed all of them.
All my spirits destroyed them.
That's
Oh,
fair. The
they
OSHA
could
people
have-
could have just showed up, got
They
wiped,
could
and now
have
they're
wiped
citizens.
OSHA, all
We
of the
do-
OSHA.
We do know reliably that Calvin is the last person from the outside to be considered a civilian of Grimsby. We do know that. We established that in episode
Oh,
2, maybe?
hey Tom.
I think 2, yeah.
On our way back down the 500s, we're gonna need to show him that room.
Yeah, you're right.
I don't know what's happening because I'm not in the same room.
It's okay.
You don't?
So I'm going to take a few of those vials and I guess move on to the next. I mean, I'm not going to be able to take a whole pallet or anything with us, so
Smash
I'll do
'em.
the best I can and just take a few.
Cool.
I don't know if it's going to blow up in my face. It's probably not a good idea.
It won't. Go
If it's
ahead, smash
glowing,
it.
That's not a great idea. That is
I
not
mean,
something I think I would do.
In Calvin's defense, I have not described the teal liquid to anybody tonight, except
This-
for Calvin.
This is actually not Ripley.
Oh,
this
it's
is
not
her
Ripley?
adopted sister. This is,
Oh.
I shit you not. I'm so proud of this. Her name is Ton618. That's like on her vet paperwork because it's the largest known black hole and she eats fucking anything. She will eat foam. She will eat people food, the other cat's food, anything.
Sounds like
Dog
anxiety.
food, trash. It doesn't matter.
Jesus.
For those of you, yes, we're taking a small side note to talk about my new cat. For those of you that don't know, we got another cat over the holidays, and her name is Antiope, and she dive bombed off the couch to try to get my ranch dressing from my taquitos. And she
She is a
won't stop.
fiend when it comes to people food.
Yeah.
I have never met a cat like that. That she just the lengths she goes
She will
to
go to
try to
people
get
food.
your food. She tries to pull it off tables. The other day she tried to pull off 2 pizza boxes and a breadstick box off the coffee table, and she's like this. She's like
She's
this
a kitten.
big.
She's 4 months old.
She tried to pull
That's
all
this
of
cat
it
too.
off of the coffee table. I'm working on it. She's getting better. But jeez.
Slowly but surely, I'm trying to get her to not eat my taquitos. but
Jesus.
We'll see what happens. Okay, but yeah, you go ahead and you take a few vials of this mysterious liquid. What would you like to do with? Is there anything else you'd like to do before your turn ends?
I now just jet across to another room that hasn't been seen yet.
Okay, I will let you at least open the door. Because like you're behind. You were in the void for a little bit. You don't quite remember
Right.
what happened while you were
He's
there.
missed some turns. He should
Maybe
get a couple
it'll be
extra
discovered
turns.
somewhere else.
It's
That's
okay.
fair enough. I'll let you go ahead and do another room. Why not? I'm feeling real generous today. Especially with
enough.
what my definition of a turn is.
I'm
but
gonna come up behind him and probably smash all those vials.
That's great. I support you doing that 100%.
Okay.
I might help her out, yeah.
So as you turn
that
around and you
shit.
exit this room, you head across the hall to go to another room. And before you can even reach the door, you just hear the sound of shattering glass.
Now that felt good.
You hear it like crunch underneath someone's feet as they walk. And from what you can gather, your 2 friends have gone in behind you and smashed everything to smithereens. So those are all super done. You unlock the next room, and it is another office. But this time, it's much simpler. The desk is very basic. There's like one small file cabinet that's just off to the side. Um, Everything in here, like all the rest of the furniture, there's like a couple chairs and things like that. All the rest of the furniture is covered in sheets. Um, like how they do with furniture in old houses when nobody's been there in a long time. So everything, uh, being covered in sheets. There's one lonely picture on the desk, um, and that's it. Um, you can see like some like miscellaneous paperwork on the desk, but thumbing through it, none of it looks very important to what's even happening here.
Hmm. Stuff under sheets. Okay. I mean, I guess I'll take a look under them.
Yeah, you can lift up the sheets for sure. They're sorry, hair in my mouth. There are just two chairs, that you like uncover, and they both look like comfy enough. Chairs. They're sort of positioned to where they'd be across from whoever was sitting at the desk. And oddly enough, it almost looks like these chairs that are like would be for visitors are like comfier and nicer than the chair that sits behind the desk.
What's that image that's on it?
Yeah.
There's a photo on the desk. You would recognize this person as your friend with no name, that came to visit the church. He is standing with somebody who looks to be a bit younger than him, but not by a ton. They look similar facial feature wise. Like they seem to have like the same lips, the same eyes, that sort of thing. And it's just the two of them sitting together, like in front of a window. It almost looks like what you would assume a porch would look like.
Grab a picture of that.
Same protocol. I'm gonna do that. Grab a photo and shoot it to Quinn.
Yeah, cool. So you take a picture of that. Like I said, most of the other stuff in the office doesn't really seem to like strike anything. Nothing looks super important or anything like that. And with that, this room seems to be cleared.
I don't like this place at all. I'm super sketch.
Oh,
as you should be.
That's my superpower.
You have no idea.
With
Wait
that,
till you
we
see your
circle
room, buddy.
back to Quinn.
Okay, I am going to go in the next room. Did you go across the hall, or did you keep going down the right side?
I believe he went across. That's how I described it. Either way, that's the room.
Okay.
Yeah, I went across. I
Magically
started
changing
left, and then I went right across.
Okay. You started left and went right. Okay.
Yes.
So I'm going to go to the next door on the right.
The next door on the right, you open it and it's just a supply closet. This one's fairly simple. It looks
Is it like a
it's,
janitor's closet?
small. Yeah, it's sort of like a janitor's closet.
Are there
it's-
cleaning supplies in it?
Yes.
Cool. I'm going to grab a couple flammable cleaning supplies.
Cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Love that. But yeah, that's pretty much all that's in that room. You can go ahead and take another door if you would
Okay.
like to.
I would like to go to the next door on the right.
Sure. So this room, you open it up and it's a very small room. Like it is the size of a closet. But instead of being a closet, there are a few file cabinets in there. There's like two on either side of the door, essentially. And that's all that's in this room are these 4 file cabinets.
Are there files in the file cabinets?
You check, and there are in fact files in the file cabinets. A lot of them, which I assume you're just gonna take pictures of all of them.
Yeah.
But like from what you can see, just doing very, very quick scanning, a lot of them are old files, like old medical files.
Like actual files from
yes.
the rehabilitation center?
Yes, from when you
Okay.
assume the rehabilitation center was real before it was taken over to be not real anymore. And then the last file cabinet, so like that's three of them. The fourth file cabinet um just mostly seems to be protocols of like, if somebody comes in and thinks we are a real rehabilitation center, this is what you do. Those sorts of things. It has things about Penelope being the receptionist, nothing really about like her medical history or anything like that, but just that Penelope was the receptionist and like what she did in her day to day. Um, things about like, if somebody were to come in and say they have this problem, this is where you direct them instead, or like this is who you direct them to, or blah blah blah. So it seems like even if people came in and said like, we have somebody with this problem or whatever, they would genuinely try to refer you to somebody that could help you because they knew they couldn't, because this isn't a rehabilitation center anymore. If it really came down to it, like there's like a clause at the bottom of one of these that says like, if there is no way to help this individual, please contact blah 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 blah, things like that. So it seems like somebody was genuinely trying to get them help.
Okay. That doesn't make up for any of the shit they did, so I'm
No, it
just gonna
absolutely should not. Don't
snap
worry
a
about it.
picture and keep going.
Cool. That's what, 4 rooms, 5 rooms, something like
One,
that.
2, 3, 4,
Those are the
5.
Cool. So, you all, just going out of initiative order for one moment. You all kind of go through and just open up a few of the doors that are located up and down the hallway. Some of them are completely empty. A couple of them just look like more janitor's closets. It basically seems like they must have owned like all of the cleaning supplies in Grimsby, for all of these to have to be closets.
Good.
You're not super sure why they would need that, but hey, whatever. Those were gigantic vats, and it's not like one thing of Lysol wipes is going to clean one of those. So, you know, it is what it is. There are only, by the time you are done with this, 2 rooms left. They are toward the middle of the hallway, both on the left side. Far enough away from the receptionist desk that should somebody go in them, nobody would be able to see what's in them from the front lobby, but also not all the way toward the back, toward the nurse's station.
I take one, you take the other.
Yep, I'm on it.
All right.
All right. Let's see which one of you gets to go first, because I never get to use my D2. Where'd it go? I just organized my dice bag earlier, and I was like, I never get to use this D2. Today's the day. Quinn goes first. Lovely.
Okay.
So Quinn, you go into this room. This again, they're not super strict on security here, because who in the world is gonna come in? Nobody. So door is unlocked. You go in, flip on the light switch, and you see this. It's another room that you can tell that they've used for like some sort of brainstorming or something like that. It's a very large conference table, sits in the middle with like 10 chairs around it probably. There are little like cards at every seat, but each only has initials. There are no names. You see at one of the heads of the table are the initials AC.
Do I see my mom's initials anywhere?
You do, in fact, see the initials LL, which could be your mother, for Laura Lawson. But outside of that, none of the other initials that sit around the table like immediately spark a thing of like, oh, this must be this person.
I'm still taking pictures of all the initials.
Please feel free. So you take pictures of all of the sets of initials and send them off to your server. This room also has like a whiteboard wall in it. Mainly this stuff is stuff you've already seen. It's all about the church and what's supposed to happen tomorrow at the church. numbers of vials that are needed, like the estimated amount of people that can fit there, and things like that. Like all of this information is stuff that you all have already seen in the documentation that Paul gave to Calvin. So this room, from what you can assume, would have been the room where they planned the event, the mass memory wiping that is supposed to happen at the church tomorrow morning.
Okay, so I take a lot of pictures, and then what I'm going to do is take one of the bottles of flammable cleaning materials, and I'm just gonna spray it around the room.
I think that sounds
Just
lovely.
gonna fling it around.
So you go ahead and you do that, which I love for you.
Mm-hmm.
So now this whole room is just doused in like this very heavy smell of like, it's almost a combination of like bleach and expired lemon pledge that rots in this room now that you have
Good.
sprayed everywhere.
Cool.
So that is where we will leave you. And Tom, we go to you. The very last door of this hallway. You kind of open. You open this door and sort of stop in the doorway. And I only say that you stop because you physically can't walk farther into the room. There is almost like a just cacophony of furniture that has been sort of stacked up and laid out in a way that you almost can't even open the door. It's just all sort of piled there. And what's odd is that you see across the room, like through like the legs of chairs and things that are overturned. In your line of sight, you can see across the room a projector screen that is down, and a small projector that is out of the, like, sort of comes down out of the ceiling. And the video that plays on this projector is not truly much to watch. It is just a black screen, and in white words it says, "I'll see you again soon, AC."
I'm gonna murder her. So did we not find the heating and cooling element in this hallway?
You do, give me an observation roll.
That's an 8.
8 plus 2 is 10.
Beautiful. What I will say is that now, like, as you stand in this hallway, you're sort of counting, right? There are 6 doors on either side. Perfectly reasonable. It's what's been in other places. But from, like, because you two have stood in the lobby of this building before and looked down this hallway from the other side. There's something about the way the doors line up with the way the hallway is sort of shaped that doesn't quite make sense. Because now you've opened all these doors, you know what the interior of these rooms look like. One of these rooms should be bigger than it actually is. So with that, I will go ahead and I'm just going to give you this for free because we're also running low on time. The door that Calvin went through that had all of the vials in it, that room should be bigger according to just like how your mind's eye looks at the hallway. So if one of you were to go back in that room, you would find a small door. It's very narrow and it's set in the wall, much like the one that Tom found is. But it's very narrow, and you all find it fairly easily and are able to open it and are able to find the last heating and cooling duct.
Cool, I'm gonna rip that thing apart. Then I'm going to go...
I missed the door. I'm done.
No, you're cool. You didn't look for it. It's cool.
Like,
Most of
ooh, blue liquid.
most of them have been out in the open, so it's weird that that one was hidden. I'm gonna go back to one of the janitor's closets, and I'm going to go up to where the front desk is, and I'm just going to slowly start to empty bottles of cleaning materials as we go back down the 5th hallway.
I start soaking rags.
Oh, just wait. Oh, just wait. It's going to be so great. I do have to use a spark, though, so that I can have a Zippo, please.
That is fine. I'll let you
Cool.
spark for that.
I always have a lighter in my person.
You do, but I
Get
don't
it?
want you to waste your lighter. So, I'm speaking for everybody. I'm sorry. I just assumed we were going to head back to the basement. Is that okay with everybody?
What's
Yeah.
there? Why are we going that way?
I don't think we have much more to explore here.
Okay. Maya is creating an exit for us because the door we came in no longer exists.
Right.
So I'm going to be leaving a trail of chemicals behind me as we go down the 500 hallway. I'm going to stop right before we get to the room we need to show Calvin. And
I take him in there while you're doing your thing.
yeah.
So Calvin, as Tom leads you through this door,
All of us had one of these.
you see a like fold out table that has pictures of you. These pictures span from probably about the time you're 1 year old to current day. Not anything too recent, but you definitely look the age that you are right now. Along the back wall, you see a timeline with certain photos of you pinned in it, with your name above it all in red. And on the last wall is a whiteboard sort of surface. Your name is on it, but there is nothing written underneath your name.
These pictures, are they like? I mean, I almost can't ask that because it's the system. But anything memorable? Anything? Does anything bring something into focus that's out of?
There's nothing that like immediately catches your eye. Some of them you would recognize as your family from the memory of the car crash. Like you see some of like you with your parents, you with your parents and your sister, all of those sorts of things. You see things from you in school, and also from like your first time in the church. But there's nothing that is like stand out. This was a special moment in my life. For all intents and purposes, it almost looks like they're all very mundane moments of life. Like nothing special, no like awards things or things like that, but just like very day-to-day things.
And they're. This is weird. You wanted me to see this? Is there something that I'm missing?
No, we just
I'm not.
wanted you to be aware that it existed. We all have one.
Wow.
There's one for my family. There's one for her family. There's one for Maya.
There's one for you.
Why though? I don't.
Well, from what I can gather, the one for Tom's family had chemical compounds for all of the things that they were testing on them. According to Allison, Maya also had some things given to her to be able to help only wipe specific things from her instead of her entire memory. Riley and I didn't have anything chemical wise listed in our room. It was just pictures and a timeline. Yours looks just like ours. But
Well, I mean, if anything, I'll take pictures of these for myself.
Yeah, I was gonna say I already got pictures
Maybe
for
they
me.
can jog something later.
If you want to take those pictures, please feel free, because this building's about to go up in flames.
Yeah, I suppose I'll just take them off the thing for myself.
So I'm going to direct both of them to head down the basement stairs, and I'm going to trail it all the way to almost that door. And I'm going to flip my Zippo and throw it on to the chemicals and just let it go like gasoline.
Heck yeah. Also, hello to New Zealand.
Hello to New
That's super cool.
Zealand.
Hello.
Hi there.
Welcome. We are about to wrap
awesome.
up soon, but
Yeah, I
thank
was
you
about to say,
for
we'll
joining
be wrapping
us.
up in the next few minutes, but thank you so much for coming over. That's super cool.
Yeah.
So you go ahead and drench all of this in chemicals. Again, the smell of bleach and like rancid lemons just fills the entire place. You all walk out of Calvin's room, essentially as it is, and proceed to head down the basement steps. I'm assuming you are going to like continue trailing chemicals down the basement steps.
No, because I mean, I did some pretty good damage. I could. Is it worth it? Should we burn the basement too?
That's a y'all decision and not a me decision.
Is arson a free action?
In this
Apparently.
case, yes, arson is a
Okay,
free
yeah.
action.
So the top is currently burning.
For
I'm gonna
sure.
let everybody. Basically, I'm gonna let everyone. I'm gonna be the last one into the room and out of the room, and I'm just gonna kind of be spreading stuff behind me, and making making it a trail. Before we get to the secret door, I'm definitely gonna borrow Tom's lighter and set that on fire.
Cool.
And then once we get through the secret door, we'll shut the secret door. And I guess we won't. We should leave like one thing in good condition, and this is the creepiest thing out of all of it. Is this room full of fucking hospital beds and rooms that people could be locked in. So we'll leave this in pristine condition while everything burns around it. And we'll go see how Maya's painting's coming along.
Hopefully it's done.
That's great. So you
She
flick
had
the
3
lighter.
rounds, and we did
Yeah,
more than
she
3
needed-
rounds, so we should be
Yeah,
good.
she needed 3 rounds to do it. You flip the lighter and light up this trail. So you see that as you touch the
as we
flame-
were walking down too, I like opened. I point into the room where like all the vats were, and I was like, "Oh, hey," because Tom didn't get to see it. I'm gonna be like,
That's
Tom,
fair.
Tom, look,
Oh yeah.
look.
So what's up with the floors? That's fucking crazy.
Dude, they're injecting that shit into people.
Fuck.
Yeah, but I took care of it. Okay, well, my friends took care of it, but you know, I asked them to take care of it, so yeah, so that's done.
Yeah, magic is fucking weird.
Yeah, we gotta get to the supply that they do have. We gotta do that, and then so we'll go to Maya. I just want to like show off my work. Be like, look, I helped destroy this whole room.
I mean, I'm very happy that you're proud of your destruction.
I was trying forever to figure out how I was gonna mess up that room, and then I was like, wait, I have magic.
So you touch the lighter to this like sort of puddle trail that you have left of rancid lemon, and as the flame touches it, it immediately lights. And because flame can burn different colors due to chemical reactions, I don't know if this is accurate or not, and I don't really care.
It actually is.
Well, no,
Like copper
I
burns
mean the
green
color
and-
that I'm about to say.
Oh, okay.
That part I knew was accurate because
Okay.
I actually really liked science class, but I don't know what burns what color. But in this case, because it was done by Quinn,
Magnesium burns
because
white.
Quinn is a reaper, I am going to say that as you light and touch the flame to this puddle, purple flames erupt out of the ground.
Hell yeah.
Oh yeah, you can do that.
As like all of the chemicals burn off, and it slowly starts to take over the rest of the floors and up into the walls as you all retreat into the basement. You all take the path that Calvin has only walked in the opposite direction at this point, but Quinn and Tom have walked down here and explored everything that this basement at once had to offer, but now will slowly burn to the ground with the rest of this building. You all walk into the room that has these 12 beds with the drains in the middle, and you keep walking through the secret door that Tom found, and into this massive room, the one where Calvin first fell back into existence, and see the metal tables as far as the eye can see. You can still see the door that was once solid and thick and had rivets in it to make sure that it locked out or locked in anyone that was necessary, is now just in a puddle on the ground. You walk over to the far side, and you see Maya kind of doing these very large brush strokes on the wall, and she has painted a giant clock. That now the hands strike midnight of. And as you all walk up, she puts the finishing touches on this clock, and she puts down her brush.
Before she does anything, I take a picture of it.
She just sort of smiles at the fact that you want a picture of her art, because that's what all artists do. And she closes her eyes and sort of just holds her hands in front of her. And she, lower than anybody can hear, you can barely even see her lips move at this point, but you can tell she's whispering something. And as she does, these blue like wisps of energy sort of encircle her hands. And as she keeps going into this like longer and longer bit, you can see that she's speaking faster, even though you can't hear anything that she's saying. The wisps of energy sort of start to circle around her whole being, and eventually shoot out from her like missiles and into this clock.
I leaned over to Tom and I said, "Hey, are you still recording this?"
Oh, fuck yeah.
These like blue wisps follow the outline of the clock, and the painting itself almost starts to ripple, like it's water, or like it's like how one drop affects a whole puddle. One wisp of energy, as they sort of move in and around Maya, make little ripple effects in this clock that she's made. And she still does not open her eyes. She does not acknowledge really that anybody is around her. She goes, "Okay, time to go. I have to go last, so go."
Do we have to like think of a destination, or is the destination already set?
The destination is already set by Maya. The only rule to this spell is that the destination must be somewhere that you can clearly picture in your mind. So it has to be somewhere that she's at least seen a picture of at some point.
Okay. All right, I'm gonna go right on through.
I help Teddy walk my way through.
Okay, so you four are gone. Calvin.
Yep, I'll head out too.
Okay, so Calvin is the last one through before Maya. You see, like, as you stand on the other side, you cannot clearly see the room that you have just left, but it is almost like you can see through the painting she's made. So you can see the lines of the clock. You can see the numbers that she's made and the hands and how they are striking midnight. And you can see the silhouette of this young girl standing on the other side.
Oh, don't do this.
She starts to walk through. Like she gathers up all her things, grabs her bag, throws it over her, and starts to walk through. And she's halfway through when she stops. So she's halfway through the painting. You can see the front side of her, you see her face, you can see like one leg is entirely through, but the other half of her is stuck.
I reach out, I try to grab her arm.
Yeah, if I'm right there, I will too.
She starts to panic. And you can see that on the other side of this painting there is a secondary silhouette, but you can't see who it is. And she looks at you, and it's almost like words are stuck in her throat.
It's okay, you can do this.
Please don't forget me. Please don't forget me. And with that, she's snatched backwards. And the wall becomes solid again. And you do not see what happens to Maya. All you know is that you five stand in the middle of Bella's, in the middle of the night. And where five of you once were, the three of you and Teddy and Maya, now stands the three of you and Teddy and Luna. And something may never be the same again. And with that, we are done for the night. For everyone's forgotten. Whew, that one hurt my heart just as much as it hurt your all's, trust me.
Yeah, I get that. But also, well fucking done.
Thank you.
This was awesome.
Thank you. I really liked the idea of villains who were not even worried enough about you to fight you.
Yeah, like we've done this enough that like they don't care at
Yeah.
this point.
So I ran with that. And anybody that knows me in real life knows I love the idea of escape rooms. They're like kind of my favorite thing. So I was like, what if we did this as a giant, like there is no way out, which I knew your only way out would then be Maya.
Yeah.
So yeah. Gotta say I'm kind of proud of this one.
You should be.
Fucking Christ.
But we'll find out what happens with Maya next week. And we'll find out a lot of other things because next week is episode 8. And right now you all stand in the middle of the night in a coffee house, and the next morning is supposed to be a mass town mind wipe happening at the church. You all were able to stop a lot of the supply that would have been there, so that's cool. But who knows? Allison said that there were always means to other ends, so...
Tom puts on some coffee and sits down.
In Bella's?
And fuck it, I turn on one of the coffee machines.
We need to go. We need to get Luna somewhere that's not Bella's. But
Alright,
we'll take care
I
of
pour
that.
whatever's left in one of these pots into like a to-go cup.
We'll
Tap it
take-
and run out.
For that midnight
me one.
coffee.
Okay.
Gotta have that
Yeah,
midnight
right,
coffee.
midnight drink on the outside.
Yeah.
just because I can. We will do one small stinger for the night, because why not? I almost did a stinger weeks ago that had to do with Luna, and then I sort of forgot about it, so I never did it. But now Luna is safe with you all, but somebody else is not. So, in the middle of the night, as 5 people sit safely in a coffee house, one girl stands defeated in front of a painting of a clock. She sighs a heavy sigh of what may be relief, but what also may be defeat, and turns to face someone that we still do not know the name of. So nice to see you again. When they say dads are involved in their kids' lives, I don't think they mean this way. And we cut to black. Oh.
Okay.
Ah!
All right, I'm gonna pop us over to the trailer so we can head out. Thank
Yeah.
you all very
Thank you
much
all
for
so
joining
much.
us.
Thanks for tuning in, guys.
We
This has been
will
wild.
hopefully, as long as health for everyone permits, we will be back Thursday. There are a couple different situations going on where it's the possibility that we may be dark on a Thursday, some very close week. But we will keep you updated. Right now, we are on for Thursday. But thank you all for joining us. Thank you, Raiders, for joining
thank you all
us.
so
If any of you are still
Awesome,
around,
yeah.
thank you, wonderful New Zealander, for joining us.
Yeah, for
Um,
sure.
We had quite the chat tonight. So thank you all so much for your support. If you are watching this after the fact, again, thank you for your support. Keep us in mind when you're bored. You can always go back and watch all the videos, since we're going to be wrapping this story up soon.
3 more episodes.
Just to remind you, we do have a coffee that is listed on here, but it is also, if you go click tips under our About section on our Twitch, it'll take you there. Like I said in the beginning, every bit that we get from coffee goes back into the channel, be that buying some art type things, so that's one less thing Mal has to take care of, helping people upgrade their equipment, buying new games for us to play, or buying copies for everybody so that everybody has it. But yes, thank you so much for your support in whatever means that is, whether it's retweeting our stuff or watching the videos or just, chatting with us in the chat each week. We really, really do appreciate it. So thank you all so much, and have a wonderful night.
Thank y'all.
Bye.
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 Bye.